David and Victoria Beckham had attended their fair share of royal events over the years, from lavish weddings to exclusive garden parties. But this was different. A personal invitation from King Charles III himself? That was unexpected. Victoria had read the embossed card at least 5 times, analyzing every word with her designer eye. His Majesty King Charles III cordially invites Mr. and Mrs. Beckham to a private luncheon at Clarence House. An opportunity to discuss matters of national interest and shared philanthropic endeavors. It doesn't say why exactly, David said, standing behind her, hands in his pockets. But I have a feeling it's got something to do with Harry and Meghan. Victoria pursed her lips. Do you think he wants us to pick a side? David exhaled. The Beckhams had always strived to remain neutral in the ongoing royal family drama. They had once been close to Prince Harry and Meghan Markle, even attending their 2018 wedding. But their relationship had cooled in recent years, fueled by whispers of mistrust and alleged betrayals. On the other hand, David had always respected King Charles and Prince William, often aligning with their charitable causes. Well, we can't turn down the king, can we? Victoria finally said. David smirked. No, love. We can't. Clarence House conundrum. Clarence House was as regal as ever, its stately walls adorned with centuries of history. When the Beckhams arrived, they were swiftly ushered into an intimate drawing room, where King Charles was waiting by the fireplace, a cup of Earl Grey in his hand. Ah, David, Victoria, he greeted, his voice warm but laced with an undeniable weight. Please sit. The Beckhams exchanged a glance before taking their seats on an elegant velvet sofa. Your Majesty, it's an honor, David said respectfully. Charles waved a hand. No need for the formalities. We've known each other long enough. Victoria studied the king. He looked burdened. There were deep lines around his eyes, the kind that came with sleepless nights and political headaches. I'll get straight to it, Charles said, setting his cup down. I imagine you know why I asked you here. David hesitated. We have an idea, sir. The king sighed, rubbing his temples. Harry and Meghan. There it was. I assume you've heard the latest? Charles asked. Victoria nodded. Of course they had. It was impossible not to. Meghan had given yet another interview, implying that the royal family had failed to protect her. Harry had been spotted at an event in Los Angeles, looking distant, as though his heart was still torn between 2 worlds. We have, David admitted. The king leaned forward, his expression grave. I need allies, David. I need people who understand the value of loyalty. A royal dilemma. Victoria swallowed. They had tried to remain diplomatic, but this was a direct appeal from the monarch himself. Your Majesty, she said carefully, we have always supported the royal family. But you've also been friends with the Sussexes, Charles finished, his voice softer now. I know. And I wouldn't ask you to betray them. But I do ask for clarity. David furrowed his brows. Clarity. Charles studied him for a moment before standing and pacing toward the window. Harry and Meghan believe they were wronged, and perhaps, in some ways, they were. But they have weaponized it. They have turned their grievances into a business. And now, good people, people like you, are caught in the crossfire. Victoria tapped her manicured fingers against her knee. You're worried they'll start speaking about us next. The king met her gaze. It wouldn't be the first time, would it? David felt a pang of irritation. He and Victoria had once been accused of leaking information about the Sussexes to the press, a claim they vehemently denied. Yet, it had fractured their relationship with Harry and Meghan nonetheless. Charles continued, the monarchy is bigger than any one person. I cannot afford more division. And neither can you. David exhaled slowly. What do you want from us, Your Majesty? The king clasped his hands behind his back. I want to know where you stand. Choosing a side? Victoria exchanged a look with David. They had spent years perfecting the art of diplomacy, carefully avoiding drama that could jeopardize their global brand. But this was the king. With all due respect, sir, Victoria said cautiously, we have never publicly spoken against Harry and Meghan. Nor have we spoken against you or Prince William. We believe in discretion. Charles studied them for a moment before nodding. And yet, silence can be interpreted as neutrality. And in times of war, Neutrality is rarely an option. The weight of his words lingered in the air. David felt a knot tighten in his stomach. "We will always respect the crown," David finally said. "And we believe in everything it stands for." Charles nodded. "That is all I needed to hear." But Victoria knew better. That wasn't all he wanted. The king wanted assurance, public assurance, that the Beckhams were firmly in the royal camp. And as much as they respected the monarchy, was it worth alienating Harry and Meghan completely? A strategic exit. The luncheon concluded on a polite but charged note. As the Beckhams left Clarence House, Victoria slid into the car and exhaled. "That was intense," she murmured. David loosened his tie. "He's feeling the pressure. And he's right about one thing. This feud isn't just about them anymore. It's about influence." Victoria nodded. "We need to be careful. We can't afford to be dragged into this war." David leaned back against the seat, his jaw tight. "Then we do what we always do. We stay classy. We stay smart." Victoria smirked. "And we let the world keep guessing." As the car pulled away from the palace, the Beckhams knew they had just walked a dangerous tightrope. They had managed to navigate the conversation without outright betrayal, but how long could they keep straddling the line?